today's Inspired Young Latina video podcast series. With the book launch coming up this December 12th, we have created this platform for you to get to know the authors in a more personal level and also to inspire other young Latinas to share their story and to lift up their voices. At the same time, with this platform, we would like to set an example for the upcoming generations because we need to empower them and remind them that they are more capable than you think. And today, I'm with my friend Andrea Vallejo. How are you, Andrea?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good too. Thank you. Really excited.
Yeah, so am I.
Thank you.
Seen. I know.
We've been all so busy, but finally we got to see each other. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Andrea.
Yes, absolutely. So right now I'm a senior at Aurora University and I'm majoring in political science and public policy. So I'm graduating in May. I'm going off to law school soon. Originally I thought I would be going off straight from undergrad, but I think I'll be taking a year to do a fellowship or to work. But I've kept myself very busy. I've served as a president of an organization that I helped create for undocumented students, and I've served as a senator for student government, and I work in DC for the Young Ambassadors program. So I've definitely kept myself really busy, but I love it.
Yes, I love it too. Sometimes people are like, how do you do all those things? But I think we are those type of people that if we don't keep ourselves busy, sometimes it's like, what am I doing?
It's a lot of fulfillment, especially because I like to help people in ways that I can, and I feel like every avenue that I'm kind of involved in, I do in a way.
Definitely, that's amazing. So tell us, how do you hear about Young Latina Talks? Because we know that the Today's Inspired Young Latina book came about the Young Latina Talks. So how did you hear about it, and what inspired you to be part of this movement?
Yes, of course. So actually, Gabby Hernandez, which she's wonderful, she's contributed immensely to this program. She actually reached out to me on Facebook, and I've never actually met her, but she added me a while back, and we had mutual friends, and so she messaged me, and she's like, you should consider applying, like submit your video. And I thought, okay, so I recorded it on my laptop, and a few days later she's like, hey, like you were accepted, you're going to be presenting this day, like start preparing your speech. And I was like, wonderful. And so originally when I was presented with this opportunity, I thought I want to do something to motivate women, and that was what I wanted to do. But then as I thought about it, I focused my speech on burnout, which is something that not a lot of Latina women talk about. I feel like it's kind of ashamed. And we always talk about how to be a girl boss and how to hustle, but we don't talk about the ramifications sometimes. So that's what I wanted to focus my speech on. And it was actually an incredible moment. I think one of my favorite moments of this year for sure, just because I've always wanted to do something like that. Kind of like a TED Talk in a way, but it's for Latinas, which is so much better. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got involved.
Yeah, and your speech was great. Actually, I did relate a lot with it because, as you say, it's something that as Latinas we don't really talk about. But it needs to definitely be out there.
Absolutely.
And how beneficial was for you to find this platform to lift up your voice?
Of course. So like I said, I focused my speech on burnout. So this past year has been kind of difficult. It's been a lot of changes for me in my life and a lot of decisions and things like that. So I found myself getting overwhelmed a lot with the work that I was doing. And so in a way, the Young Inspired Latina helped me get out of my burnout and helped me be motivated and excited about the things that I'm doing again. And most importantly, I think I met such a great network of women, including Jackie and yourself and all the other 13 authors, Gabby as well. And I think that's really been helpful because whenever we need something or just to uplift each other, we're always there. And I think that's been great.
That's amazing. And as you said, it's a platform for young Latinas, so we all can relate to each other in a way, which makes a great team as well.
A lot of us are graduating, a lot of us are starting to work, and so we're kind of in that same avenue of life, so it's really great.
Yeah. And what does it mean to you to be a young Latina?
Yeah, I think being a young Latina is really to inspire others. I migrated here with my family when I was younger, and so obviously it's a little bit harder when you're Latina and you're a first-gen student because you don't really know things that are happening. So I always knew that I wanted to use whatever platform I was on to help others and to inspire them and to let them know that they can do whatever they can, because I wish that I had this type of network of women to look up to when I was younger. And so in a way, I feel like in every area that we're in, we're doing that. And so I think that's what being a Latina means, just to uplift other women to also be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's really important. Yeah. Instead of pushing each other down, we need to lift each other.
Because it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah. So congratulations, in a few days you will become a published Latina author.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you were going to become an author one day?
You know, that's actually such a great question, and it's insane how everything is happening all at once.
Yes.
Because I personally listen to podcasts every day, and I love reading motivational books, and somehow it's all happening in the same week, right? But I always had it on my life bucket list that one day, once I was an attorney and I made a difference, that I wanted to be an author or I wanted to write a book. But I never thought that it would be now. Because I feel like a lot of us are waiting until we already have our certificates or degrees or we've done something phenomenal to be published authors, and I didn't realize that we have a lot to contribute now at such a young age. But what's funny is actually my freshman year of college, I was taking a math class, and math is my least favorite subject. But
I hate it too.
Yeah, but I had to meet with my professor. He was doing one-on-ones, and he's like, I want to get to know you. So he asked us such how would I explain it? Like very thoughtful questions about what we wanted to do with our lives. And so I told him, you know, I wanted to be an immigration attorney. I want to make a difference, all these things. And he's like, well, what's some things on your life bucket list that you've always wanted to do? So I told him, I was like, I hope one day I can write a book, probably when I'm like my 40s, my 50s, whatever. And he's like, why don't you start writing it now? And I looked at him and I was like, I have nothing to say yet. And so I haven't seen him since my freshman year, but once this book publishes, I'm going to go to him and be like, you know, it happened before I thought. And I think just manifesting it and projecting that energy worked.
Yeah, definitely. Like once you manifest it, as you said, everything starts happening and you think like, wow, is it really happening? But now you have to keep going. So it actually it's a final product.
And I think a lot of times when we read motivational books and podcasts, it's geared towards women who are already in their professional career. But there's not a lot of books about our age. And so I think that that's wonderful about this book, and it's the first one, so many to come.
I'm really excited for the volume 2, 3, 4, wow, and international ones. It's going to be amazing. This is going to be a great movement, and we are definitely really grateful for the people that have given us this opportunity as well. So what does it mean to you to have your story captured on paper or writing it? What does it mean to you?
You know, if I'll be honest, I had a lot of difficulty writing that because I feel like I wanted it to be perfect and I wanted it to really resemble my life. And at the end of the day, I think every day we grow so much as people that I think even next year I'm going to look back at the story and be like, wow, like so much has changed since then. Or I've grown from the obstacle that I was facing in that book. But I really wanted to be authentic and really share different parts of my life that I don't think I do with people in my everyday life. So I think being on paper is kind of insane. I don't think I've realized that this is happening. I remember this morning I was telling my parents, you know, I have this podcast that I'm going to go record and like our story is kind of in this book now. So I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, great. And that is going to inspire other Latinas, other young Latinas to write their story, to even like meditate on their life as well.
It's been such a great reflection, especially because I'm about to graduate. So it was really nice to reflect on the past 4 years of my life and even prior to that and what kind of left me to this point. And I think also reading other young Latinas' stories in the book is amazing. There's such great stories, such a great network. Even the other Latina authors I've learned so much from. So it's awesome to be a part of this network.
Yeah, I love it too. And I just can't wait to actually have the book in my hands and be able to read all of your stories too. I'm excited. I'm really happy as well. So share with us some of your future goals and how do you plan to make them happen?
Yeah, so I think my number one goal for right now is to go to law school. It's been a little bit harder than I anticipated in the sense that you know, it's the LSAT and you have to have work experience and there's the whole, how much is it going to cost and where do I want to relocate and things like that. But I think that is one of my goals. Another one of my goals is to represent my community in some type of way, whether it's, you know, writing policy or helping somebody else in that field. I think that would be awesome. And another one of my goals is to go back to Mexico with my family. I think that's more of a personal goal, but you know, we're close, so it's exciting.
Yes, no, it's great to be really close to it and go back to your roots and just, you know, be where you came from.
Because in the book, I kind of talked a little bit about how when I moved here and I gave up my red uniform, I didn't realize what that would entail, you know, and now hopefully in a few months we can go back and I can go see my house and my old school and be like, wow, like I'm done with college now and I'm moving to a professional degree, so that's
it's definitely going to be shocking for me too, because we're going to go back and it's going to be all different and but it's going to be a great experience.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing this experience with us, for sharing a little bit about yourself. Obviously, you guys need to read the book, but before we end, what consejo, what advice would you give other young Latinas?
I think if I could give any young Latina advice would be to believe in yourself, because I think fear is one of the things that stops you the most from doing anything in your life. I think having doubt and fear really stops you, and you know, the world really is your oyster, and if you want to accomplish something, if you want to become a better person and make a difference, I don't think that you being hard on yourself is going to help you do that. And I mean, I'm still learning how to do that. I feel like a lot of us struggle with that, but if I could tell anybody, you know, a younger self, if I could, I would tell them that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what was the quote that you used for your book, for the chapter?
Yeah, the quote that I used was, "You don't have to wait to make a difference, do it now."
Wow, great,
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode with Andrea. I hope that you guys learned from her. Make sure that you read the chapter. Make sure that you buy the book. It's on Amazon, Today's Inspired Young Latina. And you can also learn more about the book on today'sinspired.com/young. Thank you guys.
Thank you.